You spent 4 years, tens of thousands of dollars, and countless sleepless nights specifically to secure a safe future, yet somehow, that piece of paper you framed on the wall feels less like a golden ticket and more like a receipt for a bad purchase. The promise was simple: get the degree, get the job, buy the house. But for most of us, that contract has been quietly ripped up by the economy while we were busy studying for finals. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm here to help you cut through the financial noise and build a bank account that actually matches your effort, not just your credentials. Let's be real about the safety net myth. For decades, a bachelor's degree was viewed as financial insurance. If you had one, you were guaranteed a seat at the middle-class table. But in 2026, a degree is no longer an asset, it's a subscription liability. You are paying monthly installments on a premium product that stopped offering premium returns 10 years ago. We are seeing a massive surplus of graduates with general business or communications degrees fighting for entry-level roles that pay barely enough to cover rent, let alone the student loan payment that kicked in 6 months after graduation. I want you to look at this timeline because the math is honestly terrifying. In 1990, the average annual tuition for a public 4-year college was roughly $3,800. Adjusting for inflation, that was manageable with a part-time summer job. Fast forward to recent data from the National Center for Education Statistics, 2023. And that cost has exploded by nearly 180% when adjusted for inflation, while entry-level wages have largely stagnated or grown at a snail's pace. A graduate in 1990 could buy a house about 3 to 5 years after graduation. A graduate today is statistically likely to be living with their parents until their late 20s. That isn't a you problem, that is a systemic math problem. So why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep signing up for master's degrees when the bachelor's didn't work? It's called the sunk cost fallacy. It's a behavioral finance trap where you continue a behavior or endeavor simply because of the invested resources, time, money, or effort, rather than the current outcome. You think, I've already spent 3 years doing this. I can't quit now. So you throw another year and another $15,000 at the problem, hoping it fixes itself. It's like losing money at a blackjack table and doubling your bet just to try to break even. If you've ever sat in a lecture hall thinking, I am never going to use this in real life, go ahead and hit the like button, because you are absolutely right. Here's the reality check the university admissions office didn't give you. The economy has shifted from a credential economy, where who you are on paper matters, to a skills economy, where what you can do matters. There is a massive disconnect between what universities sell, theory, and what the market buys, results. While you were writing papers on the theoretical history of economics, the market started valuing a completely different set of metrics. There is a hidden metric that modern employers and the wealthy use to judge value, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your GPA or the prestige of your alma mater. In fact, relying on your degree might actually be the single thing holding your income back. We need to identify the 100K skill that bypasses the degree requirement entirely, a skill that most people ignore because it looks too simple to be that profitable. The hidden metric isn't your IQ, and it's definitely not your ability to follow instructions. In fact, following instructions is exactly what keeps your income capped. The paper ceiling is real, but it's cracking, and the people slipping through the cracks are the ones making serious money while everyone else argues about student loan forgiveness. Let's play a quick game of Spot the Difference. Picture 2 job applications landing on a hiring manager's desk right now. Application A is a 2-page resume, master's degree in marketing, 3.9 GPA, dean's list, and a paragraph about being a hard-working team player. Application B is an email with 2 sentences and a link. It says, I noticed your company's social media ads aren't converting. I mocked up 3 new versions for you that fix the hook and the call to action. Here's the link to the files. Who gets the call? If you said Application A, you are still thinking like a student. The answer is Application B, every single time. Application A is a promise of potential. Application B is proof of execution. The modern economy does not care about your potential, it cares about your output. We are seeing a massive shift where credentialism is dying. specifically in high-income sectors like tech and digital media. A report from the Burning Glass Institute in 2022 highlighted that major companies like Google, IBM, and Apple have been steadily removing college degree requirements for many of their roles. They realized that a 4-year degree in computer science doesn't mean you can code a viable product today. Just like a degree in business doesn't mean you can actually sell a product to a stranger. This brings us to the fundamental trap of the degree. It trains you for linear income. You are taught to trade time for money. You work 40 hours. You get paid for 40 hours. But the 100K plus earners, the ones you're jealous of on Instagram, are playing a game of leveraged income. They trade results for money. If you can solve a 50,000 problem for a business in 5 hours, they don't care that you didn't spend 4 years studying the theory of problem solving. The hidden metric I mentioned earlier, it's speed of implementation. How fast can you take a concept and turn it into a tangible result? College trains you to do the opposite. It trains you to research, deliberate, draft, and wait for a grade. In the real world, while the academic is researching the perfect strategy, the practitioner has already tested 3 bad strategies, found the one that works, and made the sale. But here's the catch. Even when I tell you what the 100K skill is in the next part, 90% of you will fail to learn it. Not because it's hard, but because you will try to learn it the same way you learned history or biology. You will treat it like a class, and that approach is guaranteed to keep you broke. If you are ready to stop trading time and start trading value, hit that subscribe button, because we are about to break down the exact skill set that makes the degree irrelevant. You are probably sitting there expecting me to say, learn Python, become a data analyst, or start dropshipping. Those are specific trades, and trades can be automated or outsourced to cheaper labor markets overseas. What you actually need is a meta skill that governs the flow of money itself. The 100K skill is commercial competence. Simply put, commercial competence is the ability to generate revenue or attention without asking for permission. It is the only skill set that renders a resume irrelevant because the result is money in the bank for whoever hires you. It breaks down into a holy trinity of 3 specific levers: copywriting, sales, and distribution. Let's bust a myth right now with a quick quiz. Imagine a massive recession hits next month, like 2008 levels of bad. A company has to fire one of these 3 people to survive. Who gets the axe first? A, the HR manager who organizes team-building events. B, the accountant who tracks the expenses. C, the sales rep who brings in $50,000 of new revenue every month. The answer is almost always A or B. Why? Because HR and accounting are cost centers. They cost the company money to operate. The sales rep is a profit center. They bring money in. You never fire the person who prints the money. When you master commercial competence, you become a profit center. Copywriting is just sales in written form. It's the ability to write words that make people click, read, or buy. Sales is the ability to close that deal over the phone or Zoom. Distribution is understanding how to get attention, whether that's mastering the YouTube algorithm, TikTok SEO, or paid ads. If you possess just one of these, you can earn a living. If you combine 2 or 3, you are dangerous. We are seeing 22-year-olds on X, formerly Twitter, and LinkedIn right now making $8,000 to $12,000 a month, helping tech CEOs write better content. They didn't ask for a job, they just proved they could get attention, distribution, and wrote compelling posts, copywriting. There is no University of LinkedIn ghostwriting. They just learned the skill and applied it. Meanwhile, their peers are $40,000 in debt, asking a professor for permission to take a bathroom break. This skill is recession-proof because businesses always need to make sales. They might stop hiring wellness coordinators, but they will never stop hiring people who can bring in more customers. But here's the problem. You can't go to college for this. They don't teach high-stakes copywriting in Finance 101. So, where do you learn it? The answer is staring you in the face, and it costs exactly $0. The biggest lie you've been told is that education requires tuition. The sum of human knowledge is available for free in your pocket right now, but most people use that device to watch cat videos or argue with strangers. The barrier to entry isn't money, it's curation. Welcome to the curriculum of chaos. In college, a professor hands you a syllabus. They tell you exactly what to read, when to read it, and what will be on the test. It's passive. In the real world, nobody tells you what to learn next. You have to aggressively hunt for the information. This is why self-learners beat graduates. They own the knowledge because they had to fight for it. Here's the YouTube University blueprint to get to 80% proficiency in commercial competence in just 30 days. Phase 1, the input sprint, days 1-7. You are going to binge watch, but with a purpose. If you want to learn copywriting, don't watch random lifestyle videos. Go to channels like Alex Hormozi for business psychology or search for direct response copywriting breakdowns. Read Cashvertising or the Boron Letters. But here's the rule. You are not allowed to watch without taking notes. If the notebook isn't open, the video isn't playing. Phase 2 is the output sprint, days 8-30. This is where 99% of people fail. They get stuck in tutorial hell, watching video after video to feel productive without actually doing anything. You need to switch to building in public. Let's bust a massive myth right now. I need a mentor to get started. No, you don't. You are using lack of a mentor as an excuse to procrastinate. You don't need a guru to hold your hand, you need a feedback loop. The market is your mentor. Start a generic X, Twitter account, or a Medium blog, and start posting what you learn every single day. If you write a thread breakdown of a famous ad campaign and nobody reads it, the market just told you your hook was weak. Fix it. Try again. That data is more valuable than any grade a professor could give you. We see this happening right now with the no-code movement. People are documenting their journey of building apps without knowing how to code, using tools like Bubble or Zapier. By the time they finish their project, they have an audience and a portfolio, while the computer science major is still memorizing syntax for a test they'll forget in 2 weeks. But there is a catch. Even if you spend the next 30 days grinding and learning this skill, you are going to hit a brick wall the moment you try to get paid. It's the wall that stops every self-taught person dead in their tracks. It's called the entry-level trap. And if you try to apply for a job the normal way, you will fail. The entry-level trap is the moment you open a job listing, see bachelor's degree required, and click away in defeat. Or worse, you send a generic resume into the black hole of an online portal, hoping a robot picks you. Stop asking for permission. The gatekeepers, HR managers, and recruiters are trained to filter for credentials. But the owners, the people who actually sign the checks, are filtering for value. You need to bypass the gatekeeper and go straight to the decision maker with undeniable proof. We call this the permissionless apprenticeship. Don't send a resume, send a value audit. Here's a real-life example of how this works. Let's say you want to work for a YouTuber or a small marketing agency. Do not email them saying, "Hi, I'm a hard worker looking for a job." They get 50 of those a day. Delete that draft. Instead, spend 3 hours analyzing their business. Find a typo on their landing page. Notice their thumbnails are dark and hard to read. Identify that their emails go to spam. Then, fix it. Write 3 better emails. Design 2 better thumbnails. Rewrite their landing page headline. Then send this email. Subject: I wrote 3 new emails for your launch. Free. Hi, name. I noticed your current email sequence ends abruptly. I took the liberty of writing 3 follow-up emails for you to capture the drop-offs. They are attached below. No charge, just wanted to help you close more sales. If you use them and they work, I'd love to chat. Imagine you are the CEO. Who do you hire? The person with the diploma who majored in communications, or the person who just solved a problem you didn't even know you had? It is an easy choice. You hire the person who did the work before they got the job. This builds your portfolio of proof. Even if they don't hire you, you now have a case study. I rewrote emails for Company X. Stack 5 of these, and suddenly you look more experienced than the MBA graduate who has never actually sold anything. According to a 2023 survey by Intelligent.com, 45% of companies plan to eliminate bachelor's degree requirements for some positions. but they are replacing it with skills-based assessments. The value audit is that assessment, but you are taking it proactively. This is aggressive, it's scary, it requires you to do work for free up front, but that free work is the highest ROI investment you will ever make because it buys you access to rooms you were never supposed to be in. But wait, there is a new variable in this equation that we haven't talked about yet. You might be thinking, Ben, if I learn copywriting or coding, won't AI just replace me in 6 months? Actually, AI might be the reason this opportunity is bigger than ever, or the reason it disappears completely, depending on how you use it. Let's address the elephant in the server room, artificial intelligence. Is ChatGPT going to make your new commercial competence worthless before you even cash your first check? If you are mediocre, yeah. If you are competent, absolutely not. AI is a multiplier, not a replacement for high-level strategy. It replaces the doer who just follows instructions, but it gives superpowers to the thinker who knows what instructions to give. Think about it this way: AI can write a blog post in 10 seconds, but AI doesn't know which blog post to write to solve a specific customer's pain point unless you tell it. AI can generate code, but it doesn't know what app to build to disrupt a market. The 100K skill we talked about, commercial competence, is about judgment and strategy. When you combine that with AI, you become a 10x human. A copywriter used to spend 4 hours brainstorming headlines. Now, you use AI to generate 50 variations in 30 seconds, and you use your skill to pick the best one. A data analyst used to spend days cleaning data. Now, they upload the CSV to an AI model and ask for the insights immediately. The people who are getting fired are the ones who refuse to adapt. The people making 100K plus are the ones treating AI like a free intern that works 24/7. Here's a timeline shock to leave you with. If you start a 4-year degree today, you will graduate in 2030. Think about how much the world has changed since 2020. By 2030, the curriculum you studied will likely be obsolete. You will emerge with debt, 4-year-old knowledge, and 0 experience. If you start the YouTube University Blueprint today, learning copywriting, sales, or distribution, and you apply the permissionless apprenticeship model, you could be landing your first client or job in 3 to 6 months. By 2030, you will have 4 years of real-world results, a network of business owners, and 0 debt. The window of opportunity to arbitrage the skills gap is wide open right now because traditional education is slow to react, but eventually, the universities will catch up, or the market will get saturated. You have a head start. The degree isn't worthless because knowledge is bad. It's worthless because the receipt is overpriced and the delivery method is too slow for the speed of today's market. Don't wait for a diploma to tell you you're ready. The market is waiting for your value, not your credentials.